And we're back again. Hello
Yes.
and welcome to another In the Headlights podcast. My name is Christian Williams.
And I am Tim Oldland.
And today we find ourselves back in the BOTB office. It is because of BOTB that Tim and I get to record this podcast. So thank you very much, BOTB. BOTB, if you don't know, they're the guys that give away a car every single week. And they've got a brand new lifestyle competition as well. So all these lifestyle products, watches, motorbikes, cash. Well, yeah, there's an Apple bundle, Samsung bundle. There's loads and loads of stuff in the lifestyle competition. There is a winner for each competition every single week. BOTB.com. Go and have a little look on there. You never know. I might be turning up to your doorstep on a Tuesday with a brand new car.
That would be rather nice, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it just? And today, talking of brand new cars, we wanted to do a
nice
bit of a
segue.
Thank you. Yes, I do this for a living. We wanted to talk about the Paris Motor Show because it's been going on for the last couple of weeks, and there's been some big announcements. There's been some announcements that we didn't see coming. There's been some announcements that we definitely did see coming, and there were some manufacturers that weren't there at all. So
yes,
I wanted to start today, Tim, and I think you'll agree with one of the biggest announcements from the Paris Motor Show, which is the brand new 3 Series BMW.
Yes, yeah, this is the... Oh, hang on, I've got to think now. It doesn't even say it in our notes. This is the G20?
Yeah.
G20, there you go, G20.
Code name, G20.
Yeah, code name. This is a big departure for BMW, apparently. It's the most technologically advanced, the most developed car they've ever done, blah, blah, blah. They say that every time, though, to be honest, don't they? It's... Is it as attractive as the old one? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
I'm not sure. I mean, what's weird is that... No, it's not weird, but it's a very iconic car for BMW. It's vitally important that they get it right. And they've obviously spent a long time in trying to tweak this. I don't think it does look better. But then there's loads of cars that always seem to grow on me. You know, I've never been a huge BMW fan, so I put this first mainly just because it was the biggest news story, not because I really wanted to talk about it. But it is a very successful car for BMW. Do you know all the changes that they've made? I mean, I tried to scan through it this morning, but if I'm honest, I got a bit bored.
As ever, it's bigger. It's longer, it's wider, and it's lighter, which is always good.
Okay, so they've actually managed to make a bigger car, but a lighter car.
Yep.
And
technology.
now I guess it'll have slightly more rear legroom.
Yeah, a little bit more leg room and stuff.
That was a bit of a downside to the old 3 Series.
The big thing they've done is aerodynamics.
Right, okay.
Which is because everyone's now really banging on about aerodynamics because you make a car more aerodynamic, it cuts through the air cleaner, it uses less fuel.
A drag coefficient falling from a 0.26
to a 0.23.
0.23. Yeah, that really means nothing to me.
Well, that is actually mega. I remember when I was looking at cars in the 90s and stuff like that. There were things like there was a car called the NSU R080.
Catchy name.
Yeah, it was a Wankel rotary powered saloon car.
Right.
But that was at the time sort of an offshoot of Audi at the time, and it was well, they were bought by Audi anyway. That had a drag coefficient, I think, of 0.28 or 0.29, which was utterly revolutionary at the time and was incredible. And it was like everyone was amazing.
So the lower the number, the better, right?
Yeah, the cleaner that it cuts through the air.
Okay, so a piece of paper held up to an air tunnel would have a coefficient drag factor of like 0.01.
Well, no, it's not that simple.
Oh.
That would actually cause drag because it'd flap around.
A
perfect lozenge, a pointed lozenge shape, or something. The air would perfectly sort of go around and then cut back, or that would be as close to zero as you could possibly get.
So obviously car manufacturers try their utmost to try and get the coefficient drag factor down, and they've got what on the new BMW? They've got 0.23.
Yeah. Which, I mean...
That's Mercedes-Benz rivaling, apparently.
It is. We'll give them a round of applause.
Well done.
Well done, BMW.
But it does, they say here, it does obviously improve handling, maximum speed, and efficient motorway cruising, which, as you said, is a big difference to the mile per gallon. Going on to mile per gallon, with the new engines that they've got, the 316i will be powered by a 136 brake horsepower 1.5 litre unit that we knew from the 218i.
We do, and also the Mini Cooper, but what this doesn't say is that's a 3-cylinder as well. So,
Oh, wow.
this
So
is
fuel efficient
a
is-
3 Series with a 3-cylinder engine,
Okay.
which is interesting.
Okay.
You know,
316D shares a 122 horsepower diesel engine with the Mini Cooper D.
yeah.
So same
I think that's
engine.
a 3-cylinder as well. I could be wrong on that though.
And the 2 litre fours, they're going to be kind of the most used engine. They're going to be for the 330i and the 320D.
Yeah, that for me, that as an old school BMW fan, the fact that a 330i has not got a 3-litre 6-cylinder engine messes with my head. That's
Right.
wrong. It's all kinds of wrong. The 330 has always had a 6-cylinder engine.
But do you think this is a good kind of direction for BMW?
Having driven them, no, I don't like the 4-cylinder turbos. The for me, a fast, sporty BMW saloon should always have a 6-cylinder engine. But I'm a bit of a Luddite when it comes to that sort of thing.
Old school.
It should have that.
No, I'm with you, Tim. I'm absolutely with you.
But then they've got the 340i for that.
Yeah, and
Which has
with
got the
the,
right engine.
M3, that's going to be coming out, 2020, I think it is.
2020.
It seems ages away.
It does. The 340 isn't out until 2019.
Okay. Just go quickly saying the inside, actually, of the BMW has changed slightly because a lot of people think that the BMW's interior is quite terrible compared to Mercedes, and I would slightly tend to agree.
Yeah, for me, it's always been the downside.
Plasticky
They're
and-
very. I don't. It's the quality, absolutely fine, everything like that, and even the ergonomics. For me, I don't like the way they look. The design. It seems like it hasn't really changed since 2 generations of 5 Series, 3 generations ago.
Well, I mean, they're now saying that it's a kind of a Mercedes-Benz matching interior. I've seen it. I haven't felt it, but it doesn't look particularly amazing. But they have got a lot of new TFT screens, and
It's better.
it-
I'll definitely
yeah,
say it's
better.
better. It's a better design for me.
yeah,
Anyway.
and I think you can say you can shout it, can't you? You can say like, "Hey BMW," and it'll do stuff.
Yeah, which, come on, you're driving down the motorway, you go down around certain sections of the M25, the concrete bits, where it's in like little sections,
Yeah.
and you drive along and the car's going, and you're going to try and go, hey BMW,
Hey BMW, where's the
can I
nearest McDonald's?
turn up the turn up the no, it's not listening to me.
Okay, so BMW 3 Series
Done.
Right, on to Mercedes.
Paper cut on the face.
EQC, their brand new all-electric.
Blancmange,
Why would you call it a blancmange?
because it looks like a blancmange.
I suppose it does a bit.
It does. Can we expand this EQC talk slightly into the EQC / Audi e-tron? Because that was launched a bit ago, but they're very similar, and the I-Pace.
So just in case you kind of missed this, Mercedes have launched their brand new. Well, is it an SUV?
I think they call it a crossover.
A crossover.
But it's an SUV to all.
It's a family wagon that is all electric, and this is Mercedes' first ever, isn't it? All electric vehicle.
It's a ground up design,
Right.
basically. You can't make a car basically from scratch to be a petrol car and an EV. The two don't really mix in terms of the way they need to be designed. So until now, companies have generally retrofitted their old design with
a
battery
battery
tech,
and stuff. Yeah.
but it doesn't really work that way.
Okay.
The best way to design an EV is to have all the batteries sandwiched in the floor.
So Mercedes have had to basically, as you say, ground up design.
Yep.
This is going to take on the likes of the I-Pace, Tesla Model X, that kind of thing, the Audi e-tron, which you were going to mention.
Yes, yep. So what you've got, I mean, the Model X is it's a bit more expensive, and that's been out for a while, and everyone knows about that with the funky gull-wing doors and whatnot. So you've basically now got the Jag I-Pace, the e-tron Audi, and the EQC. They're the 3 rivals that are out at the moment. They're all roughly the same price, 65, 75 grand for mid-spec. They've all got around 400 to 420 horsepower. They all do around 250 real-world miles on a charge. They can all get charged by high-powered charging points and do 80% in 25 minutes.
Yeah. So with that in mind then, is it just down to price or...
No, I think it's down to whichever one you like the best. It's great. You've now got 3 choices.
And they're all about the same price, so it is actually down to looks.
It's down to
and how it
looks,
makes you feel.
Looks and brand, really.
Right.
Now, the problem I've got is, I mean, the Jag I-Pace is a great-looking car. It's very funky, though. As
I
in,
like it. I think it looks awesome.
I mean, it looks great, but it's very funky for Jaguar, and a lot of people don't necessarily go to Jaguar for a car that's that good looking and funky, and it is a bit out there in terms of the proportions and things like that. It's very low and short nose and all this kind of stuff. And personally, I think the EQC. I'm just going to have a drink of water.
Is amazing or not amazing?
They've done.
Well, you called it a blancmange.
A blancmange.
So,
it's very blobby.
yeah, it is quite blobby.
The front end for me,
I mean, it's like the GLC, but just not quite as good.
It is. They've taken the GLC and they've stretched this massive, enormous grille and on these lights wrap around. And it's all smooth and blobby, and they've done what generally people tend to do with EVs at the moment, which is they make it funky and futuristic. And for me, that just doesn't. That's not what people want. People want a car. They want an car. I want to go out and buy a car, please. But I want it to be EV.
Yes, but with the Mercedes, Tim, you failed to mention that there is gold accents on the air vents and the seat controls, which I have to say actually do look quite cool.
They do look good, yeah.
It
like
does.
those.
I thought when I read it, I thought that's going to look so tacky. And I saw a picture of it, and it does look really nice. And I've always been a huge fan of not only Mercedes as a brand, but their interiors. They just every time you sit in one, you're like, oh, you just feel comfortable, and not like a BMW for me, where you sit in it and you just feel angry straight away.
Yeah, but we've said that about the GLC, the EQC and things. The e-tron, the Audi e-tron, is basically, it looks like a slightly more muscular Q7, Q8 type car. It looks like a normal Audi.
So Mercedes have basically released the EQC, you're saying, Tim, because they just need to be in the ballpark with everybody else.
Yeah. This is the market that everyone Jag came into first with the I-Pace, and now you've got these three big players playing it out with the Model X, Tesla. There is a BMW that's coming soon. I mean, it's actually they've got the i3 and the i8 at the moment. There is going to be an i5, which is going to go up against these, and there is going to be an electric version of the X3. But that's a...
But unlike the EQC, will that come with a vibrating accelerator pedal to tell you off when you're being naughty? Because
No.
I read that with the new Mo, your accelerator pedal will vibrate to tell you, oh, you're driving a little bit aggressively and you're going to drain the battery. Apparently that's what it'll do. So it'll just tell you to come off slowly.
That'll probably it's also there probably to wake you up.
Yeah, from
Because-
driving a very silent, comfortable car.
Yeah.
Do you think
you're talking about gimmicks though? The e-tron has got cameras instead of wing mirrors for the first time. It's the first car to have cameras, and there's little
I think
little
I'd miss
screens.
a mirror.
Yeah. To me, the screens are actually in the wrong place as well. They're too low down. They could be in the quarter light window bit there.
I guess it's something that we're probably just going to have to get used to, because that's the way things will probably
and
go.
they're there because of aerodynamics. The cameras are much much-smaller, and it apparently
Going back to drag coefficient.
Exactly, it adds on the e-tron. Apparently, they're optional, these things, and they add about 15 miles range.
Really?
If you're doing motorway speeds, it adds 10 to 15 miles range to it, just from not having these
Yeah,
massive...
but I bet in the perfect conditions, and they put it in a wind tunnel. And
It's because they're cool.
yeah, absolutely. For the Mercedes EQC, comes out spring next year. Prices haven't been announced yet, but as we were saying, it's probably around the 70 grand mark-ish.
Yeah, I think they'll be 65, 75 grand.
Okay.
Ish.
So well done, Mercedes. You're in the electric EV game, but are they doing it just so they've got a finger in the pie?
I think so. It's
Probably.
not because I really don't think it doesn't look very good, to be honest. To me,
I mean, it looks a bit like a rubbish
the e-tron.
GLC.
I think the e-tron looks really good.
So that would be your one. That would be the one you buy.
Absolutely. Well, I like the I-Pace as well, but it's a Jaguar, and they do have issues with electricals. So, a car that relies purely on electricity might be something a bit dodgy. But the e-tron for me is the one. It looks fantastic.
Okay, EQC done.
Yeah, let's go.
That's done. Right, on to one of my favourite manufacturers. Not back to Mercedes, actually, even though that is Porsche.
Ooh.
The new 911 Speedster, which
Yes.
looks, oh my God, incredible.
Yes, and although we should add a caveat here that what they released was still apparently a concept. Yeah, that's
I mean, it'll
nonsense.
look pretty much the same as that, won't it?
I don't think the funky wing mirrors are going to make it to production.
No. there'll be some kind of regulation somewhere saying that they can't be used. But in terms of just the body styling and the way they've designed it and the interior as well, I think is pretty much bang on. I mean, it looked like a production car. If you've seen the pictures, maybe you've seen some YouTubers that have done some bits as well. It's the red car, isn't it? They brought out. It's the one with the fuel cap that is on the bonnet.
Yeah, it's
which is quite cool.
Much like you get on the Singer. The Singer
yes.
They do that as well.
Yeah.
Which, it's historic and it looks fantastic, but you're going to have PPF on your bonnet, aren't you? Because it doesn't matter how many times you do it. You sit there and you're filling your car up.
Well, you're going to have to lean over as well to get the hose in the hole.
It's more that you sit there and you finish filling your car up and you go tap, 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 tap.
Any male may have this problem as well.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
But you can tap it shake it as many times as you want. The second you move it away from that thing, it all pours out everywhere, all over your trousers, all over the bonnet. It just doesn't happen. Maybe it's an age thing. I'm not sure.
Porsche confirmed they're going to build 1,948. That's a very significant number for them. That's when they started actually building sports cars, 1948.
In Zuffenhausen.
And it's going to be one of those cars where you would have had to have owned GT3, GT2, lots of other special cars. I mean, I think...
You buy your local Porsche dealer principal a birthday present every year.
All things like that. The drivetrain, pretty much a GT3, actually.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, and we all know how incredible that car is. So GT3, already fantastic car. Now you've got the styling of this as well. So flat six, nearly 500 horsepower, I'm guessing, if it's a GT3 engine.
500 metric, 493.
9,000 RPM redline, which is just
amazing.
Incredible. New exhaust as well, GT spec exhaust, so that'll sound incredible. And with the sound, for the fact that it has a... I never know how to pronounce this word. Is it a tonneau roof?
A tonneau.
Tonneau?
Yeah, it's got a tonneau.
Tonneau.
A tonneau cover. So a tonneau cover it covers up just the passenger side. Is technically a tonneau just covers up the passenger side when you're driving.
Oh, see, I thought the tonneau thing was just the way that the soft top got covered on the back.
No. A tonneau is generally when it's a two-seater. You're sitting in the driver's seat, and there's like a little clip-on thing.
Are you sure you're right about that?
Yeah.
Patrick?
I've only ever heard it called the thing that covers the
soft top.
Soft top, yeah. It's a
tonneau.
Tonneau.
Right.
I feel like I need to Google it, but we'll just go with that. But it's a canvas roof that will not automatically find its way into the boot. You have to get out, stop. Well, probably stop first, get out, and then put it in the boot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you remember the Porsche Boxster Spider, that had
great looking car.
Yeah, that had like a thing that you have to, and you literally have to you attach it to the windscreen header rail, and then like stretch it backwards, and then there's two little clips that it clipped onto, and that was it.
I mean, this car I think is more Los Angeles than London, isn't it? Really?
Yes. Although you say that, I mean, I reckon of the 1,948 that they're making, I think probably 1,940 of them are going to sit in a collection somewhere.
I'm sure they will.
Sadly, but there are people who are going to get these and they are going to drive. In fact, no, there's probably going to be quite a few. I know.
Well, it is a driver's car, right? I would have hoped that people will take it up to the Alps on a nice, summer's day and stuff, and really kind of give it the pounding that it needs, because these cars take it and they absolutely give you so much enjoyment when driving. As you know, we've both driven the GT3 and we hugely fell in love with it.
Yeah, I wonder if I didn't see on this whether it was going to be manual, PDK, either or.
I think it's PDK, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
The one at the motor show was manual.
Oh, the one at the motor show was manual.
Oh, so maybe there's a choice.
Okay. Oh, maybe you'll get,
Maybe the choice, or maybe it's just manual. Who knows?
Well, it's going to cost you 200 grand-ish.
Yeah.
They think.
If you can order one, it'll be about 200 grand.
I reckon it'll be 200
or
grand.
1.5 days after they start being delivered, it'll be £550,000.
Yeah, well,
that's what happens with Porsches. I actually know somebody who's getting one of these.
Do you?
He's
maybe you'll let us drive
There's
it.
nothing being fully confirmed, obviously, but he will get one.
Okay.
He's got a GT. He's got a Cayman GT4 and a 991.2 GT3.
Nice little collection he's building.
Yeah.
With this new Speedster, the one at the show had no sat nav, no aircon, no stereo, no nothing. But I would have thought, Porsche being Porsche, they'll add that as an option.
Yeah, their delete They're no
Yeah,
cost,
no
no cost
cost.
delete options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it kind of in the flesh, really. If we ever
Yeah.
get that privilege,
It
maybe we
looks-
can tap up your friend and hopefully get to go and see one.
Yeah. I mean, it looks spectacular.
It does look spectacular. Okay, on to the next car. And just before we do that, you may have heard some odd noises. We got a very creaky door here at BOTB today, it seems.
No, that's my knees.
Oh, is it your knees?
Yeah.
When you sat down earlier, they're still giving you a bit of jip. Thanks again to BOTB for letting us come and film in their offices again. We've basically just ransacked this room and just chucked all of our podcast equipment in here for the morning. And if it wasn't for BOTB, we wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for BOTB, there wouldn't be, over 440 Dream Car winners. I think
Yeah.
we're on about
That's amazing, isn't it?
443 or 4 now. Every single week, BOTB give away a dream car and a lifestyle prize. Competitions run from Sunday to Sunday. And yeah, we get to make people's lives by going up and turning up at their doorstep and giving them a fright of their life. Honestly,
Yeah.
there's some people that I've surprised that I genuinely think are about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, rabbit in the headlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if they're frozen with fear or joy or whatever, but it soon turns out that it's definitely a lot of joy.
Yeah. There's some of those people that you see, they are literally like rabbit in the headlights, but you can see ever so slowly as it goes on, the joy starts to creep in and they start
Well, they
to
realise it's happening, don't they? That's it.
I mean, I can't imagine because I've never even contemplated it, having worked for them. I'm not allowed to play, but just to imagine, like, you open the door and something there's people who've been playing this BOTB for 18 years. There are guys out there on Facebook land that we talk to that have been playing for that the entire time and never won, and they're still going. And can you imagine if that day you actually turned up at their door?
Yeah.
They would fall over.
Well, the guy I surprised a few weeks ago, he'd been playing for, I think, on and off for about 10 years. You know, just a few tickets a week. He actually said it was quite therapeutic. He liked sitting down on a Sunday night and having a look at the picture and going, right, okay, I reckon the ball is there, and placing a few of his crosses. And he won. And his little face when he came out of his apartment block was just literally like, oh my God. Like, you could just see it just happening. Anyway, thanks to BOTB again for helping us with the podcast. Infinity.
Oh, yes.
Now, we don't get to say the word infinity very often, but today we do. And in this, the way we say it today is followed by 2 words and a letter. Project Black S.
Yes. Hopefully, if we talk about Infinity a bit, they might invite us to go and drive the Formula One car that they did with some of the other
Doesn't that look
people.
incredible?
Oh, my God.
Like, in terms of everything I've always wanted to do in my life, driving a Formula One car is probably number 1.
Yeah. I mean, I've driven a single seater. You know, single seat race. I've driven a single seat race car. It was like an F4 or something, or
Closest I've got is to probably an
F3000 or
Atom.
something. Can't remember what it was. I mean, that was mental. Absolutely blew my mind. And to think the next level of up from it. Oh, amazing. And yeah, and Infinity have been doing this with a few select people around, and it just looks amazing.
It does look cool.
It looks fantastic, yeah. But
well,
this is their F1 tech, apparently injected into a sporting coupe. Oh,
Yeah.
saloon.
It's a saloon. Yeah, it's a saloon. I mean, it's based on the Q60.
It's a coupe.
No, it's a coupe.
It's a coupe.
It's a coupe. Yeah, it's a two-door
Yeah.
coupe. It's based on the Q60, but with a lot more aggressive bodyworks for aerodynamic purposes.
Very aggressive, isn't it?
Big old weight saving in there as well. Lots of carbon fibre. It is literally carbon fibre everywhere. The one that we've seen has got these really cool yellow accents on them as well, which just makes it... It actually reminds me slightly of the Edition 1 Mercedes. Mm-hmm. When
they've
you got the
full...
matte grey paintwork and then the yellow. And this is actually, I was reading the other day, it's a product of Nissan and Renault. So it's actually been, there's engineers in Japan that have helped make this car, but then you've also got the Renault team as well going, right, we want to do this, this and this. So it's a kind of, it's a slightly odd child that has been born from these two companies.
Yeah.
But odd child has actually turned out to be awesome child because it looks great. The figures that we're hearing sounds amazing. It's got a twin turbocharged 395 horsepower V6. Now, Tim, I don't know if you know anything about this because you know usually a lot more than me, but it adds MGU-H and MGU-K energy recovery systems to increase both power and efficiency. Now, apparently, one is able to recover power, but also boost the power to the crankshaft, while the other one, Dash H, is able to spool up the turbos to eliminate turbo lag.
Yes, that's lots of letters.
Isn't it? I don't really
Yeah.
care. If I'm honest, Infinity, I just want it to drive really well.
I think they're the same things you get in F1. That's the
it's like
name-wise. I think
it's not KERS, because KERS is...
I think it's hybrid and KERS, energy recovery. I don't know.
So this has actually...
They're the two systems they have in the F1 cars that if they break, they have to replace them and they get knocked down 10 places on the grid, that sort of thing.
So there is actually a small battery in this then?
There must be. There's going to be
some kind of
larger
capacitor.
There'll be a larger battery than the normal battery, and it gets fed into that and it boosts things. It's actually what a lot of companies are doing with a lot of companies have now got 48 volt electrical systems in them, like the new Audis, the Q8's got it and things like that. And it's called a mild hybrid system, so it just gives there's the extra battery and it can give a little tiny bit of boost
if you need it.
And it helps. It gives a little bit of boost when you're changing gear and things. So
it's also said that the latter, as in the Dash H, is also capable of recovering lost exhaust gas energy from the turbochargers and feeding it back into the battery. That's pretty cool. I think don't Formula One cars do that as well?
Yeah.
They do, don't they? They take exhaust gases and feed them back in. Will it ever go into production?
Not as it is here. That's mental and ridiculous. There will probably be a project. There'll be a better version of the Q60 that will come out with the same sort of body kit and some yellow accents, I reckon.
I get really annoyed with all these concept stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, great, look what you can do. Do it then.
Yeah.
Well, why don't they just do it? If they can go, look how amazing we are. Okay, great, sell it. I'll buy one. If you sell it, oh no, we're not going to sell it. Oh, great. What's the point?
Well, it's like one of the.
Is it just showing off?
It is
showing how big your.
It's like the yearly crop of new hypercars that come out, isn't it? You know, this thing's got a all carbon fibre body and it's got 1,500 horsepower and we're making 55 of them and they're all sold and they cost $4 million each. And they look like a 4-year-old drew it. Wonderful, fantastic. And it's all they ever show is a render.
Well, Infinity, thank you for creating what looks on paper to be awesome. And fingers crossed, maybe one day it will actually happen. Who knows? Fingers crossed.
Yes.
On to, I keep saying this, my favourite manufacturer. Ferrari.
Oh my God!
So the Monza SP1 and SP2. You may have seen the kind of the single-seater and the two-seater new Ferraris. What would you call it? It's kind of like a halo car, maybe.
Yeah, it's a halo roadstery type thing, and it is stunning. I'm not a fan of the SP1, to be fair. I think single-seater cars where they've just taken away one of the two seats always look a bit weird.
A lot of rich people might not have any friends.
Very true. They've always got someone who wants to. There's always going to be a car spotter who wants to go in the passenger seat, isn't there?
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
So that's where the SP2 comes in.
Yeah.
Well, they're only going to make a few of them. How many? 499.
It was quite a lot, though, if you think about it. I mean, if these are 3 million. Oh, no,
1.6 million.
1.6. I think it's 1.6 million plus VAT or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's 1.6 million euros.
Yes.
But then if you strip out the Italian VAT, change it to sterling, factor in the UK VAT, you're looking, at about £1.6 million, actually.
Bargain.
500 or 499 will be built, and they'll be built actually to customer spec. So if all 499 are the SP1, then they'll just make 499 SP1s. If it's 50-50, then it's 50-50. You can only buy one of them. I love that. Ferrari have gone, no, you can only buy one. Yes. Oh, I think one's enough. Yeah. But again, this is one of these cars that you have to be on Ferrari's invite-only, really, list. So if you've got a standard old 458 that you bought off eBay for, 100 grand, you're probably not going to be on the list for an SP1 or SP2. But there are a lot of people I know that went to the launch, like Gordon Ramsay, for instance, who I know will probably be on the list, as he's owned every Ferrari I think ever built. And someone like him, I think, would enjoy the car for what it's worth and actually go and actually drive these things. It's based on the 812 Superfast, so you already know you're going to get an incredible car. Big amounts of power, huge amounts of kind of F1 tech going into these things, and probably a driving experience like nothing else, because your face is just in the way of everything.
Well, if you look,
if a bee comes at you, it's going to hit you.
Well, no, because just maybe at 20 miles an hour, but below at speed, if you look just ahead of the driver's cowl,
Oh, what's it called? A virtual windscreen?
virtual windscreen, which is like it's like an F1 style duct that directs the air along.
So any
and
bees
up.
will just fly over your head.
Apparently so. But I mean, it's not really a car for Britain. This one for high days and holidays, is it? I mean,
No, definitely
there's no
not.
roof at all.
I think I'd
windscreen.
definitely rather have the 911 Speedster than this in the UK.
But to me, it's one of the, occasionally Ferrari get it a bit wrong with styling, especially on these limited run things, because they are generally these sort of cars that come out are done with very, very, very wealthy clients.
Yeah.
And they have an input into it, and sometimes they're not very good at designing cars.
No,
but
this
they've
one's
got
good.
lots of money. But this is absolutely stunning. And it's going to
799
weigh
horsepower.
799 horsepower. And it's going to weigh less. It weighs less than an 812. There's
Yeah.
a lot less bodywork. There's a lot, there hasn't got a roof. It's got all that stuff gone. It's more carbon fibre. I reckon there's someone mentioned, because it's not actually been in the specs, I don't think, but it's something like 200 odd kilos lighter than an 812, because the 812 isn't a particularly light car.
No.
To start with.
So they've
So it's
stripped a
going to
lot
be
out.
ballistic.
Yeah.
I mean, 0 to 125 mile an hour in 7.9 seconds.
That's a couple of blinks and you're there.
Yeah,
that is
is
mad.
Absurd.
Deliveries from summer 2019. Ferrari, thank you very much once again, blowing competition out of the water
Yeah,
with some
I'll
of
have
your
one in
fantastic cars.
green with tan, please.
There you go. Right, Hyundai. Now,
Oh,
you've
yes.
driven the i30N. The Paris Motor Show has given us 2 new i30Ns.
Yes, I was banging on about it for a long time.
Yeah, one is the fastback, and now one is the i30N
Option.
N option. They've put an N in there twice, haven't they? It's the i30N N option.
Something like,
Yeah, I think it's that.
It's like BMW, you've got their M Performance range.
Yeah.
And you can add some little bits and bobs here and there. And it's, we'll talk about the N option first, because
Well, what's annoying about that, first of all, is they've come out and gone, look how amazing it is. You go, yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, when can we buy it? Oh, no, it's a concept car again.
Yeah.
Come on.
they're all coming out.
But when?
All those bits. They're from beginning of next year.
You think?
I'm led to believe, yeah. They're all, well, the majority of the parts that you saw.
Yeah.
There's things like, it's small stuff though, it's sticker packs.
Okay.
Sticker packs. And they had
there's
a
20
carbon fibre vented bonnet. I
There's
don't think that's going to make it.
25 different things, apparently, on the i30N N option that you can basically spec on it. You've got aero. They've done some bits with the engine, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
The seats are different.
I think, the important things, I think, are there's a slightly bigger rear spoiler.
Yeah.
There's a better rear diffuser and a different exhaust, which is ridiculous because, I'm sorry, the i30N Performance that I had, when you put that thing in N mode, it sounds like a WRC car.
Really?
I mean,
Pops
it is,
and bangs everywhere.
but it's not just that it pops and bangs, because everyone does that. This thing, it cracks like a WRC car does. So it's like pop, 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 pop. Like, it really is loud, and it sounds like it's gone straight through exhaust. It's way. I mean, I had it on my drive, and my neighbours have got a Focus RS with the Mountune package, and it was way louder than their Mountune RS. It's absolutely
So actually,
brilliant.
the N option is going to sound just a bit ridiculous, really.
But for me, the most important part of this N option is they had performance racing seats, because the only thing that I felt let
I remember
down.
you saying you kept kind of sliding about a bit.
They're not that. I mean, they're okay, but the main thing, I mean, they look really bland. They look like normal, boring black seats.
Okay.
And these performance seats, they're very much like the performance seats you get on Renaults and blah, blah, blah.
So basically, if you're looking to buy an i30N at the moment, maybe just hang fire for a bit, because...
Yeah, maybe so. Or, they might be...
Well, according to you, Tim, they're gonna come out early next year.
Yeah. Well, I know they've said... I know I've read that the seats are definitely
the
out
seats.
soon.
I think
the seats
the
are
options
just...
are definitely going to come out, and they know that anyway. They're onto a winner with the i30N in the first place. I've not got to drive one, but you said it's absolutely fantastic, and I'll 100% take your word for it. So many people that have got to drive them have said they're great. So if you are looking to buy one, maybe just hang fire a little bit, because you might be able to have a slightly larger options list that really do. Make
or
that
they
car
could
come
be
into its own.
dealer fit options as well.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Oh, okay.
Or you could buy the new Fastback N.
So onto this then. So this
Yeah.
is a slightly longer version of the i30N. It's got the same 2-litre turbocharged unit that they use in the i30N at the moment. It'll be putting out 271 horsepower.
271. Just like we're only getting the performance spec i30N Fastback.
Right.
I think they're actually dropping the normal non-performance of the hatchback as well, because it's something like 85% of the performance model, because it makes sense. It's not much more, and it's badass.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. It looks fantastic. When does it go into production? Do we know? It's early next year.
I think it's early next year. Yeah,
but I think you can start putting your orders in now, can't you?
You can. Yeah. I mean, it's got a slightly lower roof line, so it's slightly more coupe-like, and it's got a slightly higher top speed as well, because it's a bit slipperier. Mm-hmm. Personally, I'm not a huge fan. I'm a hatchback man. I love hot hatches, but I can see it's going to sell very well. It'll add a few more sales.
Hyundai, well done. We love the i30N, and we think that the new technically two new cars that they've released will be absolutely fantastic. Right, last but by no means least, it's basically the new Audi R8. Really, it's the LMS version, the kind of the race-going version that we'd see at somewhere like Le Mans or something. Mm-hmm. But it's got its whole new revised front kind of end, and I think it's basically the new R8.
Well, it's the facelift R8. There's a facelift R8 coming. It was supposed to be. Again, it's another car that was supposed to be at Paris, but it's not. And it's probably going to be LA or New York later this year. I think we're going to see the facelifted R8. And it's not major. I think it's even got the same headlights.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's just a bumper facelift job.
Yeah, but do you reckon that this will be the new one?
No, I think that this will. This shows.
Look at the front of it. I mean, the new front of the R8 GT3, like with all its kind of slats and stuff. Like the new Audi A1's got the little slats. I think it will be. I think it'll be like that.
Yeah, I think that the facelift is looking. It's going to look very much like this.
Oh, okay. I've only seen it with one of those stupid like car bras on, with all the checkered kind of film to basically stop journalists getting pictures of it. But if it does look anything like the front of this, it's going to look amazing. I mean, Audi Sport, is it Audi Sport or
Audi Sport now?
Audi Sport. Are doing all these kind of option packs as well, like with the performance parts. Look incredible.
They do. I mean, some of them are a little extreme. The rear wing is quite punchy, isn't it?
It is a bit. You've got to be doing
mount.
some serious speed to get that thing to come into its own. But the new GT3 LMS car apparently has a revised gearbox and clutch and should stretch out the time between rebuilds by 50%. So if you are a racing car driver, there you go. You can spend a little less money.
Yeah, they are a bit ridiculous, these race cars. They need rebuilds like after every other race or something stupid.
But the big difference was actually the exhaust. If you've seen the exhaust on this, it kind of it's going back to the oval-y type shape exhaust, but they kind of come up out of the car. It looks quite interesting. I don't know if the new R8 will see that or not, but I guess time will tell.
Yeah, I hope they do something a bit more on the rear end of the new R8 on the facelift.
Yeah,
because I don't like the fact that it's got these kind of trapezoidal just exit bits. That you've got the actual pipes sit behind, and you've just got this trim.
Well, it looked like the new one actually. That the exhaust come out a bit, so you do actually see the exhaust.
That'd be good.
Yeah, so
that's what I want to see.
That might be what that is.
Because other companies are up in their game. They've upped their exhaust game. You've got the Huracan Performante with those awesome two pipes sticking out that you can actually see down when they get going.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. And what else have you got? Oh, the 600 LT McLaren with the top mount exhausts. Oh, that's just amazing.
I mean, every time I see a picture of any of those, it's just flaming everywhere.
Yeah,
absolutely flaming.
We're talking like 2 foot long flames out the top of that thing, which is why the carbon fibre rear spoiler has got a centre section that's got a ceramic coating on it.
Yeah,
because otherwise it'd melt.
Do you think these R8s are going to be 4-wheel drive or come in both RWS?
I think both.
I think both as well. And actually, talking 4-wheel drive, I just wanted to quickly mention this before we wrap up things today. New Defender spy shots. Now, this wasn't obviously revealed at Paris or anything, but this is where some people have been out on the road again and getting some pictures. And the new Defender has been spotted.
It has.
Now, I can't really tell what it looks like because there's a lot of extra bodywork and stuff they've chucked on it to try and disguise it. But
yeah, and I think they have really gone to town on the camo for this.
Yeah.
Because this is this is one of the most eagerly anticipated new cars this century.
Oh, it'll sell like hotcakes.
It will.
They always do.
It will, but it's got to look right. It's got to look spot on. And I know the guy that's designing it, Jerry McGovern. He's got the hardest job.
I would hate to be him right now.
Yeah,
I would absolutely hate.
Has he got the hardest job? No, I think you've got to just do it like Suzuki done with the Jimny, and Merc have done with the G-Wagon. I think you've just got to keep it simple, keep it like a bit like it was, and not.
So go back to its roots slightly, but just make it modern.
Yeah,
a bit of both. A little bit of a difficult job.
The guy with the hardest job in the world was the guy who had to redesign the new Aston Martin Vantage. Because you've taken, the old Vantage was the most beautiful car in the world, I think, and you have to redesign it.
And he absolutely smashed it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Okay, so that's pretty much Paris Motor Show wrapped up in 45 minutes, really. If you've got any questions or something, please do drop Tim and I a message. If you're watching this, our handles. Oh, I sound like my dad. Well, what's your handle? What's your social media handle? Our at addresses, whatever, are on the screen right now. Mine's at Christian W. Yours is
at Tim_Oldland.
There you go. Easy as that.
On Twitter, I think.
You're even unsure, aren't you?
I am. It's been so long.
Just search Tim Oldham. It'll come up.
Look for me. It'll be somewhere anyway in the descriptions.
Thank you so much again to BOTB for letting us come and film in the office. Of course, they're the guys that give away a car and a lifestyle prize every single week. You've got to be in it to win it. Make sure you go and have a look. BOTB.com.
Get in the pot.
Get in the pot. Yeah. Make sure you do follow us on our YouTube channel. In the Headlights, you can find it on there. And of course, if you're subscribed to our new podcast, you'll get automatic kind of updates on everything we do. We basically do it every week. So
we've got lots of videos coming soon, haven't we?
Loads of videos on the ITH channel. Yeah, loads of video content coming.
I've got 9 weeks, I think, and I've only got 6 days where I haven't got a press car.
There you go. So loads of content coming from Tim and I. Thanks again for listening / watching. We'll be back very, very soon, i.e. next week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.